Your artist's voice is pretty much your story. That's the bottom line. What your story is, that's where it gets complicated. Hello, it is me, Helen, and I'm broadcasting today from my actual studio. I know so far it's been all about talking, and my intention is not to sort of do art demos on this channel, but I just wanted you to know that I do work in the background. The reason I wanted to check in with you here in situ is to just explain something in a really simple way. While I've got a big long video about this coming up, it was the most simple concept, and that is that your artist's voice is pretty much your story. That's the bottom line. What your story is, that's where it gets complicated because of the way we invalidate who we are and what we're doing. We don't know our story a lot of the time until we get older and we can look back and see it. If you're a younger artist or mid-career, just trust what it appears to be for you at the time. Just follow your nose. The point is, everybody knows about the marketing concept that stories sell, but basically that's what artists do. They look at what's happening around them, they experience what's going on around them, and they put it through their own inner world, their feelings about everything, opinions, whatever, and then it comes back out as something new. Really, the raw material that you need, the most basic raw material, it's not somewhere else. Like, you might go to an art museum and get inspired by looking at paintings on the wall. And the reason you get inspired is you see something in those paintings that reminds you that you can do it. You see a story and go, oh, that's a story. The point is that your own story has massive value. You only have to look at the many types of famous art from history. Some of it is, very strong political statements, but they were not so much about recording incidents, say a reporter or a camera might do, so much as the artist's reaction to them. And it's exactly the same for the magnificence of, say, domestic life. I'm just thinking of Pierre Bonnard, one of my favourite artists, and his portrayal of cats and just domestic life. He makes it look really good. And if you experience how you see the world in deep gratitude and you just want to celebrate that through your work, that is really important. It's important for you to deliver on that. And as one artist, I keep saying, you may go through many different manifestations. Like, I have times when I see the domestic bliss, then you should put that forward. Other times I see all the horrible things going on and my brain tends to make metaphor of that. So that's what I want to put out there, and that's kind of what's in my other room, what I call my dark paintings. And I'm not going to be happy till I've actually done them. You only have to look at the likes of, say, Goya and his black paintings, which he didn't intend for anyone to see. We could see that all the best work ever created was done from the heart and from the artists putting out their reaction to whatever it was they took in. They're putting it back out there. So when you go to an art museum, you get inspired, or you see something online, you're getting inspired because it reminds you of something about yourself. So start to trust yourself and know that even the most benign, mundane thing in your life is grist for the mill. I was watching something last night and I just can't think of the artist's name. Actually, I don't even know if they put the name up, but it was an older woman in England and she'd been an artist all her life and she was just painting little sardines on plates. And there was a certain magical quality because of the elegance with how she approached that. You see what I mean? It doesn't have to be a spectacular thing unless that's actually how you're experiencing it and then you want to portray that. So I'm encouraging you as an artist to look no further than your own story, because that is the absolute secret to where your voice is. So trust your own life, your observation, your feelings, your experiences, what you take in, and then what you do with it as it comes back out. The main thing is try not to disconnect from humanity. That's when the trouble starts, when you think you're better than everyone else. Like, I was just writing this essay this morning about that. Everything we do, everything we express as a painter or an artist says something about where a headspace is. So if someone paints something that's kind of revolting to everyone else, well, that's where their headspace is, right? And then if the art powers that be, art museum, the Louvre or something, hangs that in the great museum, then we have to ask, whose idea was that? Is that the expression of the curator? And we all know that a lot of art curators are quite bitter and twisted, as are a lot of art teachers. Not all of them, but a lot of them are, because that's why they're doing that job, right? They didn't do the art. Don't think for 1 minute that your experience is not valid if you have a good, happy life and you want to paint puppies or butterflies. I know I'm exaggerating. And if you want to paint blank white squares with texture on them and say that nobody understands me but the doyens do, then what does that say about you? That's up to you. You're saying something about your story, and we don't know. Someone might just want to do minimalism in their head. Their head is cluttered. So you've got to ask yourself those questions. What is going on when an artist does that? And then curators actually encourage it. There's stuff going on all the time. So I'm not about judging different art styles. When I criticise artists doing repetitive, I call it wallpaper, process type work, that is fine. Also, there's a market for that. But it is probably better to think of that more as artisan type process. When I stretch a canvas, I put in a lot of staples, or I do a lot of process work. So if you're repeating that, Damien Hirst and his big factory full of people making dot paintings, well, that's fine. It's like making screen prints, okay? So I actually made prints for the better part of my entire career, and it was I thought, a very integral way of going about it, because I didn't call it original painting, I called it prints. It was reproductions. So that is a great way of making your art available for the entire world at an affordable price, and I praise that. So don't get me wrong. What I'm doing here on this channel is trying to show you that your voice is connected to you, it's your soul, and I want to encourage you to understand that when you trust that voice, no matter what stage it's at, where you're in your psychological, spiritual development, the social contract matters if you want to sell your work. And I'm going to do a video where I actually show that with some little drawings, so it makes it really easy to kind of remember. But there is a halfway. There's a place where you can both express your truest self and also have enough appeal where people will want to buy that, so you can actually make a living from it. It's not either or, it's this other place, which is in between. I am going to paint today, so I'll see you later on. Don't forget to subscribe.